Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be starting yet another reading vlog for you guys, and I'm so excited about this one because in this video I have a TBR full of new releases that I have been so highly anticipating, so I thought putting them all in the same vlog would be really fun. So I'm quickly going to go through my TBR and then we will get into the video. So the very first book that I want to talk about is the one that I'm the most excited about, but it is the only one that I currently don't have a copy of, and that is A Grave Robbery by Deanna Raybourn. This is the 9th book in the Veronica Speedwell series, and I know I've been talking about it a lot recently, but it is almost out. It is Saturday the 9th right now, and it comes out on the 12th. So I'll be getting my copy of it very soon, and I will be immensely enjoying it when I do. Hopefully. If you guys don't know what the Veronica Speedwell series is, it is basically an ongoing mystery series that is set in Victorian London, and it follows our two main characters, Veronica and Stoker, as they go around solving mysteries. It's just so much fun, and there is an absolutely stunning slow burn romance in the series as well, and I cannot wait to see what Veronica and Stoker are getting up to in this one. So, I mean, even the title, it's so good. It's so good. So that is obviously going to be like the most exciting part of this video for me, but I do have two other books that I'm still really hyped to get to. So the first one that I have here is The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is the second book in kind of the continuation duology of the Folk of the Air series. This one follows Jude's little brother Oak, Jude, who was the main character of the original trilogy. This is kind of set 10 years after the original trilogy, I think, and it's following Oak and our other main character Surin as they're doing stuff. Honestly, I don't remember a lot about The Stolen Heir. I probably need to do a little bit of a refresher before I jump into The Prisoner's Throne, so I'm definitely gonna have to Google around a bit. But I've still been highly anticipating this one because I really liked The Stolen Heir. I know a lot of people did not like The Stolen Heir, but I feel like my expectations were kind of low going into The Stolen Heir, so when it was like actually really fun, I was like, oh, perfect. So I've been waiting for this one just to kind of see what the conclusion to this duology is. And then the other book is a book that I was a little bit uncertain as to whether or not I was going to pick up, and that is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I'm actually in the middle of this one right now. I'll give you guys like a proper update on it in a moment here. Basically, this book is following our main character Misery, who is a vampire, and she has this whole arranged marriage situation going on where they're trying to broker some peace between the vampires and the werewolves. So she has to marry the alpha of the werewolf pack? I don't know if they're a pack exactly. The werewolf civilization. And that's been kind of fun so far. And then there's also this other whole kind of mystery situation going on, which is the main motivation as to why Misery agreed to be a part of this arranged marriage, because her best friend Serena went missing a couple of weeks ago and she thinks it has something to do with the alpha of the werewolf pack. So obviously she agreed to the marriage so she could like go investigate and figure out what's going on with that. And I'm definitely very intrigued by that. I'm very intrigued to see where this arranged marriage is gonna go. So it's kind of fun, but also it's not exactly what I was expecting, but at the same time, it is exactly what I was expecting, because you can really tell that this is Ali Hazelwood's paranormal romance debut, if you will, because I don't know, just like the world building, I don't like the world building, to be honest. I feel like these vampires are really lame, to be honest. Like, they kind of just read like normal people who have to go drink out of these blood bags every now and then. Like, they don't have any of the cool vampire attributes. They're kind of just like normal, you know? And if I'm gonna read a paranormal romance, I don't exactly want the paranormal elements to read as normal people. We haven't gotten enough of the werewolves for me to make that kind of decision on them yet, but this book kind of just reads like a contemporary romance. Like, obviously an arranged marriage isn't normal in a contemporary romance, but like everything else, it's very tame. So I'm really just hoping that those paranormal elements kind of kick up as I go throughout the book a little bit more. I am a fourth of the way through it, so like not super far, but I feel like I'm far enough to kind of get a vibe of the story, and so far it kind of just reads like all of her other romances. Because Misery is also like really into tech. She's like a hacker or whatever, so you know, a vampire woman in STEM, essentially, which I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I'm really not, to be honest. Also, I didn't like how the world building was done in this because there's this whole conversation that Misery has with her father within like the first couple of chapters of the book. And that conversation was literally just Allie Hazelwood laying out the world building for you in one fell swoop. And I was like, I feel like it needs to be a little bit more drawn out than that. Like, you can tell that this is her first kind of paranormal romance. I'm really interested to see if my thoughts on any of that are going to change over the course of the book. Obviously, I'm not like that far into it, so who knows? But I must say, I am liking Misery as our main character so far, and there have been a couple of things that have, you know, gotten a little giggle out of me. Like, some of the things she says are kind of funny, so I am excited to read some more of this for sure. But there is my first update on Bride, and there is the TBR for this vlog. As I said, I am so hyped for this TBR. I feel like reading a bunch of books that I'm really excited about in one go is gonna be really good because I've been in a bit of a reading slump, kind of. I haven't really done a lot of reading recently. I feel like I've finished only like 2 books maybe within the last 3 or 4 weeks, which is not good for me, at least, because I want to do more reading. So I'm hoping this vlog will help me kind of get out of that slump that I'm in. So I think that is all of the relevant information that I have for you. Also, this has nothing to do with anything, but it's sitting here and I wanted to tell you because I went to the thrift store yesterday and I found the cutest little frame. Look at this. It's adorable. Oh my god. This is going on my gallery wall ASAP. I'm so excited. And it was only $2 and I just wanted to share my thrift find with you guys. So, anyway, I'm gonna go hopefully read a bunch of Bride today because I am pretty excited to jump back into the story and see where things are gonna go. So I will talk to you guys later with an update. Okay, so it is a couple of days later now, and I do have an update. I don't know if it's an exciting update, but I have an update on Bride because I actually ended up finishing this book yesterday, and I feel like I've gone on a roller coaster of like how I'm feeling about this book. Because at first I was a little bit hesitant. You guys kind of saw how I was feeling about it in the intro clip. I just wasn't sure. And then kind of towards the middle of the book, I was kind of obsessed with it. I was like, hold on. Like, this is kind of good. And then I got to the end of the book and I was like, wait, no, it, like, what happened? It was so good for so long and then it just like tanked kind of really hard for me. So let's just talk about it, okay? First, I want to talk about the things that I did really enjoy about this book because, as I said, there was a moment in time where I was having the time of my life. Because first of all, I really like the characters that we're following in this book. Misery, I feel like, is a really solid main character and she's probably my favorite Allie Hazelwood female main character because she's not annoying and she's not cringy like all of Allie Hazelwood's other main characters. I also really liked the general story of her finally finding somewhere where she feels like she belongs because early in her life she was sent to live in the human territory because of some political things, but she never really felt like she belonged there, and then when she got back to the vampire territory, she didn't feel like she belonged there either. So her embarking on this whole arranged marriage thing allowed her to find somewhere where she feels like she belongs and she has a family, which is really nice. I also really liked Lo as a love interest for so much of the book. And then he did something really stupid, which I'll talk about that in my like things I don't like section. But for the most part, he was a stunning love interest. I loved him and Misery's dynamic, at least what we got to see of it. And something else I just find so funny is like Allie Hazelwood is not done writing about obscenely large men. And honestly, I kind of respect her for it. Like, she has her type that she wants to write about and she's gonna continue to do so. Like, at one point, him and Misery had to share a bed. Like, kind of. She's a vampire, so she sleeps in the closet, so they weren't really sharing a bed, but there was technically like a one bed trope situation. But They were on this bed, and Misery was remarking on the fact that this king-size bed was too short for Lo. And I was like, how tall is this man? Because a king-size bed is like 7 feet long. Well, it might be a little bit less than 7 feet, but like, it's a little crazy. Although on the plus side in this book, Misery is also pretty tall, I think. So instead of it being the really tiny, you know, main character and like the huge love interest, it's a little bit more evened out. So props to Ali Hazelwood for that, I guess. Also, something that I really liked about Lo was the fact that he has this little sister, and seeing their interactions together were so cute. And the way that you can tell that he just deeply cares about her and wants to protect her at all costs, I thought was so adorable. And so that definitely increased my enjoyment of him as a love interest. So all of that I was deeply enjoying. I was just having such a good time. And then I kind of got to the last part of this book, and it was just hit after hit after hit, man. The first one was the third act breakup, which was ridiculous. And it wasn't even miscommunication. I don't even think it was miscommunication. It was just Lo being the absolute worst. And to be honest, I wouldn't have, you know, forgiven him for the things that he said so quickly. But like the whole time I was reading that, I was like, what happened? It was like a complete 180. I was like, this doesn't, like, it's a little stupid. Honestly, I just hated the third act conflict. Like, there was no need for it. And then at the very end of this book, when kind of everything is being wrapped up, because there's this whole mystery throughout the book where Misery is trying to find her friend Serena, and that is a main focus of the book. So obviously, as we got towards the end of the book, I was like, oh, I'm so excited to see what's gonna happen. First of all, it's a little predictable. I feel like you can definitely see where things are gonna go. And then, like at the very end of the book, when you're kind of figuring out what happened and why everything happened, it felt very much like a typical villain sitting you down at the end of the book or movie or whatever and telling you literally everything about their plan. Instead of you learning it kind of organically, I just felt like there were so many info dumps in this book with the world building and like the politics, and I was just so bored throughout those segments because they were like entire chapters of characters just talking, explaining everything to you, the reader, essentially, and that bothers me so much. It just felt very unnatural in the way that it was being delivered, and I was really bored. And then we get to the last thing, which honestly is really just a personal preference thing. Like, if you're into this probably wouldn't be a negative for you, but this is my first time reading an Omegaverse book. Is that how you would say that? I don't know. It's not for me. It's really not for me. They were just the things going on. I was like, I've avoided this information for 23 years. Like, I've known about the Omegaverse, but I never wanted to venture into it myself. And while I knew that that was what I would be getting in this book, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I need it again, ever. It's just not my thing. It's not my vibe. If it's your vibe, you'll probably really like this, but it's just a little too much for me to really get into it and enjoy it, so that definitely hindered my enjoyment of the book overall. And also, I just don't generally like books about wolves or werewolves, and again, that's, you know, something that I knew going into this book that I wouldn't enjoy, but like the wolf dynamics that are always present and the possessiveness that they always have is just something that I don't enjoy reading about. I think overall, it was fun. Like, it was a fun time. There were just a lot of things in this book that I didn't like. However, I think at the very end of this book, Ali Hazelwood sets up the potential for another book set in this world, which honestly I would consider reading. But the pairing that it sets up, I am very intrigued by, so might have to check that one out if it ends up happening. Honestly, I kind of hope it does. So that's kind of the first book down for the vlog, which is very exciting. And now we can move on into the second book that I'm going to be starting, which is The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. I still have not figured out what happens at the end of The Stolen Heir. I can probably just read the last chapter of that book because I'm pretty sure the main thing that I need to remember happens right at the end of the book, so I'm pretty sure I can just like read the last page or so and get a little refresher going. But I'm so excited to jump into this one. I just love being in Elfheim. It's one of my favorite fictional places. So I've been really hyped to jump back into the series. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this morning and I'll give you guys an update later. Also, we need to talk about how gorgeous the art in this book is. I feel like every time I'm talking about one of Holly Black's books, at least the one set in Elfheim, I'm always talking about like the gorgeous illustrations in it. But like, it's just so stunning. First of all, look at this map. I love this art style. I love this art style so much. It's so beautiful. And then we also have like the little poem that is usually at the beginning of her books. Look at the illustrations on the sides. My god. And then I'm pretty sure there are like little chapter headings that have art. Oh, these are so cute too. Look at it. Oh my god. So I've been talking long enough. I'm going to jump into The Prisoner's Throne. Also, I think my copy of A Grave Robbery is getting here today, so so excited. But it's not here yet, so I'm just gonna get into reading this and I'll give you guys an update later. So it is the next day now, and I do have some very exciting updates for you guys because first of all, and most importantly, I do now have my copy of A Grave Robbery, and she is gorgeous and stunning and beautiful. Look at it. Honestly, I think this might be one of my favorite covers of the Veronica Speedwell series. Like, it's a very busy cover, but I love the red. I love all of the pink tones going on in this graveyard, and I also love the gold, and it matches my bookmark perfectly, which I love. Look at that. Beautiful. And it's gonna look so good on my Veronica Speedwell shelf. I am so excited that I now have all of these books in hardcover, and I can display them so lovely. So lovingly, so beautifully. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just excited, I'm sorry. But yesterday I did start The Prisoner's Throne, and I will talk about this in a moment, but I think I read maybe a chapter or two, and then I kind of set it down for a little bit. And then my copy of A Grave Robbery came, and I was like, all right, I am ditching The Prisoner's Throne for the time being because I need to pick up A Grave Robbery. And then I read a chapter of this and I went to sleep. So, not a lot of reading went on yesterday, but I am still so excited about both of these, but obviously this is the one that cannot wait to get into this one. But I literally have no clue what this book is about, to be honest. I personally don't really like reading the synopses of these books because one, I do like to go in not really knowing much of anything. Obviously, I'm getting kind of a vibe from the cover, but I don't really know what the mystery of this one is going to revolve around. And honestly, I feel like sometimes in the Veronica Speedwell series, the one thing that I don't really like is the fact that I get a little too hyped for the mysteries. Like sometimes when I read the synopsis beforehand and I'm like, oh, this book is gonna like focus on this, it normally doesn't deliver in the way that I would want it to. I'm looking at you, A Treacherous Curse, because that one's like revolving around this Egyptian mystery curse, whatever. Didn't exactly deliver for me. Same thing kind of goes with A Murderous Relation. It's like very tangentially related to the Stalking Jack the Ripper stuff going on, but like not actually. So all of that to say, I did not read the synopsis of this book, and I'm just along for the ride, and I'm quite excited about that. Although honestly, if no grave robbing goes on, I'm going to be severely disappointed, but I am still just so excited to read some more of this, hang out with Veronica and Stoker. It's gonna be so much fun. Ew. I'm sorry. Sorry, it's a lot going on. So, like I said, I read the first chapter, And I just want to read you guys the first line of this book because I feel like these books always have like the most ridiculous opening lines, and I'm all for that. Because this one reads, "I draw the line at monkeys," Stoker said with considerable severity. "I will have no monkeys, Veronica." There's like a tiny monkey that's just hanging out with them for what reason, I don't really know. But I just love this series. Also, I did get the audiobook for this book as well, and I'm going to kind of switch back and forth between just reading it audibly and then reading it with the audiobook and like physically reading it, because I love the narrator that they have for this series. Her name is Angel Masters. She gets the job done. And also I really liked that the dedication of this book is to the audiobook narrator, so I thought that was just really fun. And the audiobooks, so good. So good for this series. I highly recommend them if you want to read the series. They're seriously top notch. I realize I just spent a long time talking about this book, even though I've only read the first chapter of it. So I'm gonna move on. So I'm definitely hoping to make a sizable amount of progress in that. And then I do want to give you guys an update on The Prisoner's Throne. So I am not very far in this book at all. I'm on page 18, so I don't really know if I have much to update you guys on in this one, especially considering this is the second book in the series, so I don't exactly know what I can tell you. With this kind of series, it's easy to talk about because there's like a new mystery introduced in each one, and it's, you know, not like there's no like spoilers in this series. But in this one, I don't want to say much. The thing I do want to say though is we're finally getting some June and Carding content, which is honestly really what I was hoping for from The Stolen Heir, but I feel like they weren't really present in that book. But in this one, right off the bat, they were in there. I love them so much. I miss them. Not enough to reread the Folk of the Air like original trilogy though, but I really liked what we got of them in the beginning of this book, you know, the first 20 pages. But so far, not a lot has happened, to be honest. Which I realize is an awful update for you guys. I really need to read some more of this before I can properly give you guys an update on it. But as I said, I'm kind of putting The Prisoner's Throne on the back burner for now so I can read and appreciate A Grave Robbery. So that's kind of my reading updates for the time being. But before I get into any reading today, I'm thinking I want to do a little bit of journaling, which I'm very excited about. I think I'm gonna do my spring TBR spread because I always like to do a little seasonal TBR in my journal. I also posted my spring TBR last week, so if you guys want to watch that, you could. Or you could just watch me put the journaling spread together. Maybe that's easier. But I'm thinking instead of the kind of traditional pastel spring palette, I kind of want to go for like a black and silver theme maybe. Cass gave me this sticker sheet of kind of antique looking sewing scissors for Christmas that I've been wanting to use for something, and I feel like that kind of, it fits spring, but it also fits kind of like a darker vibe almost. And I wouldn't say I'm in like a super springy mood right now, but I still want to make my spring TBR, so I'm thinking something a little bit more muted as far as like the color palette goes is what I'd like to go for. So I don't have any plans for it yet. We'll kind of just see what happens when I start making it. So I'm gonna go do a little bit of journaling, and then hopefully I will catch up with you guys later this morning with a better update on A Grave Robbery. So I will see you after the journaling. finished with my journaling, and I really like how this spread turned out, honestly. Like the black and white for spring, I'm kind of into it, to be honest. And then I also decided to add a little pop of color with this butterfly here. I love this little butterfly, it's so pretty. And I thought it would be appropriate to add a little bit of a pastel pop, you know? I didn't even manage to get it closed when I did that. But mainly, I'm here to give you guys an update on A Grave Robbery because I have made some significant progress. I've been listening to the audiobook for a little bit, then I also read a bit physically, and now I'm on chapter 12, which is page 110. And honestly, the mystery is so juicy in this one, and I'm enjoying it so much so far. And I think all of this, after I kind of like figured out what it's about, I went back and I read the flaps, so none of this is gonna be spoilers or anything. Like, you could just read the synopsis of this book if you wanted to know this. But basically, the beginning of this book opens up on Veronica and Stoker being presented this wax figure, seemingly, by their employer, and he wants them to make it look like the Madame Tussauds. I don't exactly know how you pronounce that name, but the Sleeping Beauty, like very famous wax figure, and he wants Stoker to kind of fit it with the clockwork mechanism so it'll look like it's breathing like the Sleeping Beauty figure. Also, I looked up a video of that wax figure, like fake breathing. It's terrifying. I don't like it. It's a really interesting concept. Like conceptually it's good. It's just like kind of unsettling, like when you actually look at it, but I digress. So Stoker is like, all right, yeah, sure, I can do that. It doesn't seem that hard. So he goes and he cuts into this wax figure. And it turns out this is no wax figure. This is an actual woman that has been preserved with some sort of, I don't even know, he doesn't even know, to make her seem like an actual wax figure. And I was like, okay, low macabre, no, very macabre, and very unsettling, but honestly, like so creepy and so interesting. So the kind of mystery that we're going to be focusing on is, who is this woman? Why did this happen to her? How did she get preserved in this way? Who knows how to do this? Because obviously this is a very dark and odd concept that not many people would know how to do. So Veronica and Stoker are taking it upon themselves to kind of get justice for this woman and figure out what happened to her. So it's all so creepy. It's so unsettling, but I love a good creepy and unsettling book, and I've really been wanting the series to do something like a little bit darker, and this is definitely very creepy. So I'm really excited to see how the mystery is going to progress. Normally in this series, I'm not like that invested in the mystery. Some of them are really good, but some of them kind of fall flat a little bit. I mainly read this series for my loves, Veronica and Stoker. Obviously, I'm so obsessed with both of them, but the fact that this one also has like a good mystery running through it, I'm so excited to read some more of this. Also, as the book has progressed so far, we've been seeing a lot of my favorite side characters, which I feel like this series just has such lively side characters. They're all so interesting and distinct, and I love them so much. Specifically, I really like it when we get to see Stoker's brothers. He has 3 brothers. Honestly, all of them are great. I think Tiberius might be my favorite, but in this one we saw his older brother, Rip, I think. His name is, what is his name? Rupert? And the dynamic that Stoker has with his brothers is just always so entertaining. And we've also seen 2 of my other favorite side characters, JJ Butterworth and Mornaday. I love them so much. This series just has such top tier characters because Veronica and Stoker on their own, stunning, amazing, love them so much. But also the side characters add so much life to this story. So yes, this book has had a very, very strong start so far. I'm so excited to read some more of it, see where things are going to go. Definitely plan on reading a lot of this today. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it today because honestly, I don't exactly want to like rush through this book because I do want to savor it to some extent. But also I do want to finish this book like kind of quickly. So I'm thinking maybe I'll finish it up like tomorrow. I'll like spread it over today and tomorrow. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So yes, so those are kind of my initial thoughts on A Grave Robbery. It is certainly not disappointing. It is so good. So I'm going to probably go make some lunch right now. That sounds nice. And then I'm going to get back into this book. So I will talk to you guys sometime soon with an update. is a couple of days later. If I look tired, it's because I am. Me and Cass were on FaceTime last night until like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm just so tired. But I'm here to give you guys a bit of a reading update, as well as a crochet update, because I have started a little crochet project again, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So let me start with my crochet project, because I'm quite excited about it. It's nothing major. I'm literally just making a scarf. Probably like the most uninteresting thing you could possibly crochet, but the thing is, I have tried crocheting a scarf so many different times in my life. Never actually done it. I have managed to crochet actual like sweaters, you know, but I have never managed to actually finish a scarf. So my goal is to make a scarf, and I know it's like March, we're moving into the hot times of year, but I like to make the projects that I want to use for like the fall winter time earlier in the year, because if I save them for the fall winter time, then I won't get to wear them in the fall winter time because I will have waited too long to make them. Yeah. Anyway, basically, the thing that prompted this was this picture that I saw on Pinterest. It's like the most basic scarf, but I was like, that is so cute and I want one. And you can hardly see the scarf in this picture, but I saw this. And this person is wearing like this stripy scarf, but it's like vertical stripes or horizontal stripes. They're horizontal stripes instead of vertical stripes. But I want to make something like that basically, but in fall colors. So I have started it. Here's how it's looking so far. I feel like every time I do a scarf, I go like widthwise first instead of doing it lengthwise, but I think this might work better. I don't know. I am a little bit scared that I'm making it too long, but I've just been working on this since last night, and I worked on it a little bit this morning. And I'm gonna continue to do so. So I think a fun little stripy scarf will be perfect for fall, even though it's March. Anyway, there's my crochet tangent done. I just wanted to keep you guys updated on what I'm working on, because I will probably do a little bit of that in this video as well. That long tangent aside, I do indeed have an update for you guys on A Grave Robbery, because I have read some more. Currently on chapter 20, which is page, what, 206? So I'm about 2/3 of the way through the book now, and I'm continuing to just really enjoy this. Not that anybody's surprised. I'm just really enjoying the mystery in this book. It is a lot more engaging, in my opinion, than a lot of the other mysteries that are present throughout the other books in this series. And the more we learn about the mystery, the more it kind of gives me very slight Frankenstein vibes. And I don't want to say much more about that for fear of spoilers, but I was just reading some stuff yesterday that was reminding me so much of like the themes in Frankenstein, and I loved that a lot. I'm also really appreciating the way that Stoker is kind of engaged in this mystery. I don't want to say I'm like liking it, because it's rather harrowing, but the way that he has connected to this mystery and the passion that he feels in wanting to get justice for this woman is very personal to him, and I feel like we're getting to know him a little bit better as a character. We're getting to see more into his head, which I really enjoy, because as Veronica's, I don't want to call him a sidekick necessarily, but like his dynamic with Veronica and like his sense of humor have been so good throughout the course of the series, and it is a big reason as to why I love it. But getting to know him on a deeper level throughout this book and seeing the way that he is reacting to all of the things that have happened so far, I think have been really well done in letting you as a reader get to know him on a deeper level, and I'm really liking that as well. And also Veronica continues to just be one of my favorite female main characters of any book. She's just so lifelike and lively and witty, and I just love her so much. And obviously her dynamic with Stoker is just so good in this book. There's just this one scene on page 187 that I was like, oh, it's so good. There are just so many good lines between them in this series, and I found another one and I'm gonna read it. It's not really a spoiler because I feel like I've been talking about the slow burn romance in this series like a lot, so like you know what's gonna happen. But you can probably tell that from the first book. Anyway, I'm just gonna read this because it's... Stoker's talking to Veronica, and he says, "I cannot think of anything more horrifying than shackling oneself for all of eternity to a woman with anything less than your courage. You are a lioness, Veronica." And I'm like, yeah, give me more of that. And I'm so excited to see how the end of this book is going to progress, because in like every single one of these books, they're very formulaic, I must say, but like I don't even care because I love the formula. It's like set up for the mystery, then you have them kind of finding clues, gathering information, all that kind of stuff, and then towards the end of the book, they manage to get themselves into this life or death situation. And that's always when like the good stuff happens, because tensions are running high, they always feel like they're about to die. That's when the good like relationship building comes in, because they feel the need to like declare their feelings for each other in like various ways, and I always just eat it up. Like, it's always so good. My goal is definitely to finish this book up today. I think I have like 130 pages left, which can definitely do that. And then over the weekend, I will be finishing The Prisoner's Throne. Where'd it go? It's around here somewhere. I don't know. So I'm going to hop into reading some more of this. Then later I want to do some crocheting. I will see you guys later with some sort of an update. Hopefully I will have finished this book by the next time we chat. Okay, so it is a little bit later in the afternoon. I haven't quite finished A Grave Robbery yet. I'm so close to finishing it, but I'm not quite there. I'm on page 310. I think I have like, okay, I literally have 11 pages left. I don't know why I didn't wait until the end, but I need to go get yarn, which is why I stopped now. I thought this book was like a little bit longer than it was though. Oh well, I'm gonna give you this update anyway. But this book is getting 5 stars. It's so good. This is like absolutely one of my new favorites in the series. There's just been so many moments, so many good moments. The main thing I want to mention is this interaction between Stoker and Veronica at the end of chapter 27. Bitch, I was tearing up. I was like, I can't do this right now. I am unwell, but in the best possible way. And I'm not gonna read it out because like, if you read the series, you need to experience it for yourself. But I was like, oh my god, it's just so good. And then after that, we've been in like the climactic bits of the plot and kind of figuring out all of these different things. And there have been so many like plot twists that I did not see coming that I really enjoyed. I just feel like this book is delivering in so many different ways. Like the romance is so good. I love the mystery, which as I've said before, does not happen a lot in this series. The only thing I do want to say in regards to the mystery is that I feel like sometimes we get more like info dumpy chapters, which I don't 100% love. I've definitely noticed in this book there have been a couple of chapters that are just like Veronica and Stoker sitting down with one person and them essentially telling them like a lot of very useful information, which like they do that a couple of different times, so it's not like one big info dump, but I feel like sometimes the chapters and their conversations do go on a little long. But honestly, I don't even care. Like that does not factor into my rating whatsoever. I'm still probably gonna give this book a 5-star. And then the side characters have also been such a joy to read about in this book specifically. There's a decent chunk of this book where Veronica Stoker, JJ Butterworth, and Mornaday are kind of like working together and investigating together. And the dynamic that that presents is so good. And it's so funny. And I just feel like all of the side characters in this book are so, like they are just giving me everything that I want. And I've also found this book to be really funny. Like there have been multiple points where I have laughed out loud, which does not happen a lot in books. And just the culmination of all of that, and kind of like the creepy, macabre atmosphere that this book inherently has because of the type of mystery that we are dealing with. It's just all of it together. It's just so good. Oh my god. So yeah, I need to read the last 10 pages. I'm gonna do that later. But honestly, I don't know what could possibly happen in these last 10 pages that will change how I feel about it, but I'll give you like a small update about it when I properly finish it. Honestly, if I had realized that I only had 10 pages left, I would have waited to give you this update, but alas. That's kind of how I'm feeling about A Great Robbery. This will be my second 5-star of the year, which is so exciting because my first one was Emily Watt's Map of the Otherlands, one of my other most anticipated releases, and the fact that this one, which is also a very anticipated release, did not disappoint. It's just great. It's just so great. So there's that. Anyway, as I said earlier, I need to go do some yarn shopping because I'm thinking I need more colors than what I currently have present for my scarf. Also, here's the progress. I added a little orange stripe. Very cute. I'm really liking how these colors are looking together, but I don't think I have enough different colors of yarn to do exactly what I want because I don't want to repeat a color. Like, I want this to be very colorful, but I also need it to be like kind of more on the muted side because I want it to be like more fall. There we go. Honestly, I really like how this looks. But basically, I just need to go buy some more colors of yarn, and I thought I would take you along with me. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I will chat to you guys maybe tomorrow when I have finished A Great Robbery and have hopefully read more of The Prisoner's Throne. So I will see you then. Really quickly and tell you that I did finish A Great Robbery. I'm so sad. Like, nothing sad happens at the end of this book. That's not why I'm sad, but I'm just sad that it's over. Honestly, this book was so good. It is one of my new favorites in the series. Nothing is gonna top A Dangerous Collaboration, but this one might be like number 2, to be honest. Like, it was so good. It was so good. And I need book 10. I know this book literally only came out 3 days ago, but I'm like, I need the next one. Actually, I don't even need the next one. I just need confirmation that there's going to be another one, and then I will be at peace. But right now I'm like, what if this is the last one? Like, what if that is the case? I don't know. Does anybody know? If anybody knows, let me know. But I just need to know that there's gonna be a book 10. And then I will stop being sad. Anyway, I don't have anything productive to say right now. I just wanted to pop in and let you guys know how I'm feeling about the fact that I finished A Great Robbery. Obviously, it's a solid 5 out of 5. So good. So, so good. So I'm gonna go crochet for a little bit. I got my yarn, which is very exciting. Honestly, kind of contemplating a reread of the series. It sounds really fun. I might have to do it, and I could like properly annotate them this time through. Oh, that is so tempting. I don't know if I have the time to dedicate to that, but I might have to make the time, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I am rambling, and I'm probably just going to keep rambling until I turn my camera off. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow after I've started The Prisoner's Throne. Hello, hello. So it is Sunday morning now, and I do have an update for you guys on The Prisoner's Throne because I have read a lot of this book. Like, a lot. So I'd say I'm like 3/4 of the way through the book, and honestly, I would have given you guys an update sooner if I had had anything I wanted to say sooner. I just wouldn't say that I'm completely loving this book. I'm enjoying it. I think it's fine, but I'm just like, I don't really know if I care about anything that's happening in this book. And I'm so sad to report that because I was so excited about this. I feel like Oak and Surin are fine as main characters, but I don't find myself really that intrigued in either of their stories. And the romance that's going on, I'm kind of like, I think this series, like the original trilogy and this kind of spin-off series, does have a lot of interesting political intrigue in it, and the way that that political intrigue inevitably gets kind of entwined with our characters' actual feelings, I think is really well done, and that part is super interesting. But I just don't think I care about Ochre Surin enough to really be all that like gung-ho about this sequel, you know? And I'm just really surprised by that, honestly, because I really enjoyed The Stolen Heir. I had a really fun time reading The Stolen Heir. That one's a little bit more of a traveling book, and I always love traveling books. I just think they're so fun. The constant changing scenery keeps me engaged. But in this one, it's a little bit more heavy on the political intrigue, and while it's kind of interesting, I just don't know if I really care that much about it, which, you know, is sad. I have been listening to this like 100% on audio though, and I do enjoy the audiobook. I've been liking kind of that whole experience because I have been crocheting my scarf, which I will show you in a moment. But overall, I'm just not quite as invested as I was hoping to be in this book. One thing that this book definitely does have going for it though, which I have been really enjoying, is the Jude and Carding content. Now look, I know I shouldn't just be reading the series to see them, but I'm gonna do it anyway, and I don't care, because I'm literally obsessed with them. They had me absolutely in a chokehold still, honestly, and I'm totally okay with that, and seeing kind of how they deal with the positions that they have been put in due to the events of the first trilogy. It's so interesting, and I just love them so much. And I just don't care about Ochre Surin nearly anywhere as much as I care about Jude and Carding. So I've been liking the addition of them in this story because in the first one they're referenced, but I don't think you ever actually see them. But in this one they have gotten like a few scenes. I'm like, thank you. I will continue to pick up crumbs, and I'm okay with that. And I know I shouldn't be comparing this to the original trilogy, but like it's happening anyway, I'm sorry. That's kind of how this book is going. I feel like I just don't have enough to say about it. It's also the continuation and conclusion of this duology, so I'm like, what do I say? That's not a spoiler, you know? So I know my thoughts are kind of general on it. It's just, it's happening, you know? I still feel the intrigue and the drive to complete this book, obviously. I only have like 70 pages left right now, but I just don't love it. But that's okay, because I do still really enjoy the world that this series is set in. Elfhame is, as I said earlier in this book, it is one of my favorite fictional places. I just love the way that Holly Black depicts the Fae. I love all of the different areas of Elfhame that we have been able to see because of this continuation series. And I also really love this is a very specific one, but I love the descriptions of clothing that we've been getting in this book, because all of the clothing that the folk wear, it just sounds so whimsical and fun. And I always just love it when they're at a ball and we just get like descriptions of what everybody's wearing. I live for that. I love it so much. And the juxtaposition between the scary and bloodthirsty Fae that are in this series and their beautiful and whimsical court attire is something I also really enjoy. So there are some pros to this series, but the continuation series just hasn't been my favorite. Maybe the last 70 pages are gonna blow my mind. Who knows? But I am certainly excited to finish this up and complete this duology. So yeah, I'm gonna do that this morning. It's also the last day of the vlog, so need to finish this morning. But I don't foresee that being an issue. I also did want to show you guys the progress that I have made on my scarf, because I've made so much progress and I'm almost finished with it. And I will probably also be finishing this up this morning. So for once, I can show you guys the final product when I talk about my crochet whatevers. So here's how it's looking. I love the colors. I'm a big fan of how it's going. So I just have one stripe left that I want to do. I'm gonna put another layer on top of this so it's a bit thicker, but then my scarf will be complete and I'm so excited. I also last night, I got impatient and I decided to put some tassels on one side of it, even though it's not completely finished yet, but I wanted to see what it would look like. And look, it's so cute. I love the little tassels. I think they're so fun. So yeah, that's how my my fall scarf is going. I shall be finishing it this morning. So I'm gonna go finish up The Prisoner's Throne, probably also gonna update my reading journal when I finish that, and then I will come back for the conclusion of this vlog. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Hello, it is a little bit later, and I'm here with my Diet Coke, obviously, because I have finally finished The Prisoner's Throne, and it happened, you know? I'm still so sad that I didn't love this one because I really enjoyed The Stolen Heir, and in this one I just could not find it within myself to care about most of the things that were happening. I did, however, really like the way that this book concluded. It felt very fairy tale-esque. I think it also had a stronger ending than the Folk of the Air series did. Some of the things that happened in The Queen of Nothing, I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on in that book. But this one I really liked, and it felt like it wasn't as out of place as that ending was. So there's one point in this book's favor. Another book in this point's favor, again, is all the Carden and Jude content that we get in this book. And I thought it was so funny because I was looking at some of the Goodreads reviews for this, like after I finished it, because I was like, what are other people thinking? Like, did they feel the same way I did? I had to know. And like so many of the comments were also talking about the Carden and Jude content in this book, and I'm like, we all think the same way. And I love that so much. Also, at one point, a character in this book calls Jude a knife wife, like, legitimately, and I thought that was hilarious because, like, I know that's a thing, but to actually read it in the book, I was like, all right, it's canon that she's a knife wife now, and I loved that a lot. But overall, it was just okay. I had like a good time reading it, I think, but it's just not the kind of book that I am ever going to think about again, probably. But I enjoyed listening to the audiobook and working on my scarf. Speaking of, I have indeed almost finished my scarf. It's not quite done yet. Obviously, I want to show it to you guys because I did finish the last stripe. The only thing that I have left to do is to put the tassels on the other side, but I'm just going to do that in a bit. Here's the final like stripey design on it. I'm a big fan. I think it's so cute. And then I also finished the tassels on one side of the scarf, so that's how that's looking. I think we also have to get a little try on because I'm so excited about my scarf. Look at this. Oh, this is gonna be perfect for like November when it's finally cold enough to justify wearing this, but I'm still so excited because I think it's so cute. Look. Ah. Okay, anyway, I'm glad that I decided to finally do this because, as I said earlier, literally never finished actually crocheting a scarf. So it's nice that I've finally accomplished such a basic feat of crocheting. And then obviously, I do need to wrap up the other books that I read in this vlog. So I read Bride by Ali Hazelwood. It was so fun until the end when it wasn't. But then we have the shining star of the vlog. Obviously, that is A Grave Robbery. I loved it so much. Thank you so much to Deanna Rayborn for allowing such a beautiful series to have graced my life. I love it so much. And honestly, maybe it was to The Prisoner's Throne's detriment that I read it right after finishing this masterpiece, but what can you do? But this one was just so good. I'm not gonna get into it again because I feel like I've spent a lot of this vlog talking about this, but it's also what she deserves. So here are the 3 new releases that I managed to read in this vlog. I am really happy that I got to all of these because they are books that I was wanting to read. So it is kind of perfect that I was able to do them all in one vlog. Also, I love that they have such a stunning color palette. The red, white, and black I'm very much into. Honestly, red, white, and black as a book color scheme is like one of my favorite color schemes. It's always so beautiful, so tasteful, in my opinion. I mean, I do have a whole black, white, and red shelf. I think it's that one. So with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. If you did, obviously I would love to know down below, have you read any of these books? If so, I would love to chat about them in the comments with you. If you have not, literally comment anything you want to tell me. I am always all ears. Also, before we go, I would like to thank everybody over on my Patreon. If you're ever looking for more content from me, it's always linked down below. We do some fun stuff over there. You can check it out if you want to. And with that, now I'm gonna actually let you go. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next vlog.